Okay, so we're now looking at writing algebraic expressions, two-step examples. And I said when we first met this with one-step expressions, it was just a really important video in understanding in later videos how to solve one-step equations. So the same thing applies here. So definitely this is a really, really important video, because in the next video where we look at solving two-step equations. So things where you've got like 2x plus 4 equals to 11. This stuff here is going to be really, really important, as you're going to find out about later. Anyway, in my class, I would say I would give out whiteboards, but you at home can get out a notepad or whatever, and you can have a go at this. So on your whiteboards or notepad or anything, how would you write this? I'm thinking of a number, I multiply it by 2 and I add 4. So how would you write this? Give it a go. Well, you could write something like this. Okay, so 2x plus 4. I'm thinking of a number. So you began with the number being x. You multiplied this number by 2. So you times this by 2. 2 times x. You then added 4. So you then added 4. Hence the 2x plus 4. And again, of course, this variable, it could be y, it could be k, it could be a question mark. But, typically we like to use x because it's a nice one to use. So there we go. That is your first one. There we go. Good. What about this one? And think particularly now as we get on to more than one step, think carefully about this. How would you write this? I'm thinking of a number, I add 4 to this number, and I multiply everything by 2. How would you write this? Give that a go. Well, this time, with that slight change, you would write it like this, because you have a number, right? So let's go and call that number x. That number could be anything. You added 4 to your number, you added 4, and then you multiply it by 2, and that means you're multiplying everything, so everything here, by 4. You do not write this. You don't just write x plus 4, I times it by 4. There we go. No. You've got to times the whole shebang by 4. So you write 4 times this. Sorry, we're timesing it by 2. Multiplying it by 2. So you would write it 2 times the whole shebang. We know that if you times something in algebra, you just clump it together. So 2 times everything within that bracket. And this is such an important idea when we look at solving equations. Okay, so that is how you would write this statement. So there we go with those two. Now, 2x plus 4 and 2 bracket x plus 4 do not mean the same thing. So these two statements in red are different, okay? Because let's choose the value of x. So let's go and say, well, if x was equal to, let's just say 3, I assign that value to be 3. We can see this because then we're going to have 2 times your x value, which I've chosen to be 3, plus 4. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, add 4, it is 10. Over here, I've got 2 bracket if x is equal to 3. So 2 bracket 3 plus 4. Well, looking bid mass, the brackets first, we're going to have 2 times 3 plus 4 is 7. 2 times 7 is equal to 14. You can clearly see, right, 10 is not equal to 14. So for the values of x that you choose, right, these statements are not the same thing. And this is very, very important because the order in which you apply the operations, it matters. And this is crucial in the next video when we look at solving equations, as you will see. Anyway, example 2 on your whiteboard. So how would you write this statement? I'm thinking of a number, I divide it by 3 and I take away 4. So 3, 2, 1, bam, there we go. Right, I'm thinking of a number, so I begin with a number. I start with, let's just say x, that a variable could take on any value. I divide it by 3, so I divide it by 3, and then I take away 4. So then I take away 4. Hence, I get this statement down here. Okay? Next one, with a subtle difference. I'm thinking of a number. I take away 4, and then I divide it by 3. How would you write this? And think really carefully about how you write this. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Right, so this one, I'm thinking of a number, x. I take away 4 from this number. I then divide it by 3. You definitely do not write it. That is horrific, right? Because again, you have a number, you take away 4, you divide everything. You divide the whole thing by 4. You could write it like that. That's not wrong, but it's ugly. We write it like this in algebra. You divide the whole shebang by 4. The brackets don't actually need to be here in this one, but I just want to make it clear that you're dividing all of this by 4. Okay? That's really important. So again, the order, the way in which we write things here with these slight changes, and this is only 2-step. Imagine when you've got 3 steps going on, or 4 steps. Yeah, this is important. So x over 3 take away 4 and bracket x take away 4 over 3 do not mean the same thing. Again, we can check by, let's choose a value of x. If I said x, for example, is equal to 9, here I would have 9 divided by 3, take away 4. Well, 9 divided by 3 is 3, take away 4 is -1. Up here, if x is equal to 9, I've got 9 take away 4 divided by 3. 9 take away 4 is 5, and 5 divided by 3 is 1.6 recurring, right? So definitely right, -1 and this are not equal, right? So these aren't the same thing. So again, important, the order in which you apply the operations is crucial. So in summary, right, we had, for these examples here, we had, I'm not going to read them out, but we had these 2 ways of writing these statements. So if you want to, I'd make a note of that. It's really important. And example 2, we looked at these 2, where again, the order, we do things matter. So we divided by 3 first, and then took away 4. We then took away 4 divided by 3. And the expression changes quite dramatically. Okay? So just to finish up with, before we get on to the next video, how do you write this? I'm thinking of a number, I multiply it by 2, I add 3, and that equals 25. So just one extra little thing you need to do there. Maybe give that a go. 3, 2, 1. There we go. So again, I'm thinking of a number, which is x. I multiply it by 2, so I do 2 times x. I add 3 to this, I go and add 3, and I put it equal to 25. And this is an example of a 2-step equation, because I've done 2 things to my equation. And in the next video, we're going to look at using balance method again at solving this equation. Okay. Thank you for watching.